And we are back.
We're back in the booth for the Vibes Championship of the Americas.
Welcome. It's been a long day you've spent with us. I assume you've been here the whole time, right?
Well, you should have been.
Well, in case you did miss it, though, we are in Hartford, Connecticut right now, and we are at the Vibes Championship of the Americas. It's been only 5 months since the games have been launched, and we've had some incredible players qualify, come down, and perform really, really well in this tournament. And in fact, 2 of them have performed better than anyone else. Spencer, you want to tell us a little bit about those 2 players?
Well, in a field that looked dominated by BizBunk, 6 of the top 8 were BizBunk. One of the other non-BizBunk fell out. Guy, I'm calling him our people's champion, playing a modified version of the yellow deck. Not only was he that, he was the only non-green deck or BizBunk deck in the top 8. Actually, even maybe in the top 16. Right? Guy, a longtime player. We talked about how good Bounce House Rod has been for a lot of our top players. This is the sneaky tech coming in from the Vibes native side. Our finals, though, he's facing John Suarez, who I think it is no mistake to say is probably the best BizBunk player in the room. He won both of the 2 side events in the other 2 days, has made it look easy.
Unbelievably easy. In fact, Spencer just hit the nail on the head there. Suarez has been incredible throughout this tournament, has been just piloting this thing like he's driving a beautiful luxury car. I mean, he just seems to know exactly how to make it work, exactly how the engine goes. Well, he, on the other hand, has just been playing this basically modified version of an intro starter deck with 4 Yum Yums, which is a board wipe that is a rare, and basically every other card is a common. It's been pretty unbelievable.
And let's get into this. I mean, look at Guy, stoic face, ready to go. Assassin ready, and he leads with a Daydreaming Penguin.
Okay, so we're a couple turns in.
If we can get a look into the board, John, I think this is the first time we've seen Suarez without a penguin who's okay in play.
Sure. So one of the trademark things that Suarez has done in these past couple of games is he's managed to get fuel early. So in his deck, it really depends on having some great stuff in your ice, in particular penguins. That's something that's going to run this engine with Bismo. So you end up with stuff in your ice, that's your fuel. Your engine is built by having Ascending Penguin in play, and then a Bunkus in either your hand or your ice. Then at some point in the game, you've got to get that Bismo in your hand so you can play it. Now, Suarez needs to get some fuel in the tank, and one of the best cards to do this is the card Penguin Who Is Okay. And that card allows you to just, every time you draw, get a little bit more into your ice. Instead, he's got this Brainy Penguin, which is going to do a little bit of it, but this is definitely the slowest opening that we've seen him have on camera. Right, Spencer?
For sure. I mean, but, we saw in his prior match against Cody Williams had a start like this, and Cody Williams was very much in that game. That being said, too, it doesn't look like Guy is as quick as you might have expected as well. I mean, 2 players, Guy's deck plays a lot of low drops, a lot of 1-drops. Now, maybe Guy is holding cards in hand for an extrovert, but he's got 4 rods already.
He got rid of Brainy Penguin. Brainy Penguin's effect has already gone off. He's holding down Suarez's Pudge production early on. That's an interesting
opening. I think that's a smart move. We've seen how important Study All Night is and how Pudge constrained these purple decks can be.
It's a great point. That's the other thing Suarez would have done here in order to kind of push forward with the amount of cards that he could get into his ice.
Absolutely. And it's crazy to think. I mean, this is the least things on a board we've seen this far in the game so far. But you know what? We're in the finals here. The winner of this match will be crowned the champion of the Americas.
Absolutely.
For Vibes TCG. I mean, look at the concentration and focus on both the players' faces. Whoever wins it today, they've earned it. This is the 12th game of Vibes they played. Now, it's a best-of-1 format, so, but that's quite a lot, and it's been going since 9 a.m. It's almost 12 hours since the start of this tournament.
And you got to remember, no lunch break. We started at 9. I mean, you got to debate if you're having breakfast at that point. Okay, Suarez enters with the Ascending Penguin.
Ascending Penguin. And he's saying, do you have a Gotham? But I don't think he does. Do we know if in Guy's list there is any Gothams? Let me take a look back at Guy's list.
But Guy took a sigh when Suarez played
there
that
card.
There are
no Gothams in Guy's list, and we're playing open deck lists.
Oh, man, that's tough. So Guy's entering this. Okay.
Winning the vibe check with an Ascending Penguin.
So Suarez here, he knows Guy's got no Gothams. Guy knows he's in trouble. I mean,
we haven't seen that. Have we seen a single Ascending Penguin today win a vibe check?
I don't think so. Not that I can remember. And we've jumped into a couple of these BizBunk mirrors later on, and everyone's got Ascending Penguins. Maybe one of them won it at some point. But usually you pad out your board before it. And it's because of this card, Gotham, that it's just been so dominant in the meta.
But you know what else could be going on here? I mean, Guy could be playing a slow game and putting waiting to put several penguins in at the same time that are cheap, and then playing baiting in the ascending penguin. We'll have to see what Guy is planning, but letting Suarez unflop with an ascending penguin in play. I mean, that's never where you want to be playing against Bizbunk. That's for sure.
Some things that you might want to note here is what's in Suarez's hand. So Suarez he had a popcorn penguin. He got rid of it. What do you do in Suarez's position? Guy is just not even putting anything on board that you could have eaten. So Suarez is saying, all right, I'm going to let you do the hold in your hand thing,
Popcorn Penguin, usually a dominant card in this matchup, usually
Absolutely.
the card you would most want to keep. But what Jonathan Suarez is saying here is, no. This is not a game where I'm caring what you do at all. This is me making my deck do its engine thing and ignoring what you're doing because you haven't been fast enough. Now, let's see
a great point.
what Guy can do. Suarez, having the Baron, gets to take the first turn. And, in the game of vibes, interaction happens during action time. So Guy is sitting looking, waiting to see what his opponent does. And that's it. Now, this blue swordsman will ice itself.
Sure, it will.
Bashful.
One thing that we should note here is,
interesting. Guy's got misplace.
There.
And now we have a game. But you've got to think that Suarez was expecting this. Now, the question is going to be, does Suarez have the adventure squad?
Okay, so Suarez does have the adventure squad.
He has the adventure
we saw
squad.
it in
We
his
knew
hand.
it in his hand.
Unless he iced it with his Brainy Penguin, which
I don't believe he did, because I think he iced Popcorn Penguin, and there was something else I can't remember, but I don't think it was an adventure squad.
Yeah, going into
a very
that
heads-up play from Suarez, because you've got to think, if you're sitting in his shoes, there's only 2 cards in Guy's deck that are that cost this much. One of them is Penguin Doesn't Mind Goodbyes, which is probably not very relevant here. But
certainly not.
The only card that matters from Guy's deck in this matchup, I would say there's 2 cards. It's Misplace is very good, and then everything else is probably medium good with, we saw Not Your Keys playing a critical role in the last game.
So to give our players who are looking at a little sense of what's happening here on board, so Suarez he's leading with the Baron. He's got 4 rods. He's got some great stuff in his hand. He has that Penguin who's okay. He has a backup Ascending Penguin, and he has an Adventure Squad. You're at a great spot here. You're protected from removal. You've got removal yourself. I mean, you're just in a really good spot. Guy, on the other hand, has a wrench in your plan. He is preventing you from playing Bunkus, which is the other half of that engine, right? So Ascending Penguin is one half, Bunkus is the other. So you can use some other things to kind of fill in. So Bashful Swordsman, for example, which Suarez has already played here with 1 Ascending Penguin out, can help you get a little bit of stuff into your ice. Ooh, okay, so now
the Adventure Squad fires off.
This and
as you
taking out
talked
the
about,
wrench.
this is a risky card in many situations because of the card got him. But because the deck lists are open, Suarez can play this with abandon here because he knows Guy doesn't have any got him in his list.
Right, which is pretty unbelievable. Like Guy is in second or in the top bracket here and has no this critical removal card and just doesn't have it. It's
what's crazy to me is not only does Guy not have Gothams, he doesn't have Popcorn Penguins. Right?
It's insane.
And
it's unbelievable.
And we've seen a lot of yellow decks play this weekend that have had Popcorn Penguins in them. That's not an uncommon card to see in the yellow deck.
Going into this weekend, it was a universal belief that you had to run Popcorn. Or I don't want to say universal, clearly it wasn't, but this was the discussed...
It was an oft-discussed belief.
It was that this was a card that was just too good to not play. It has the ability to remove so many more cards than it will... Worst case scenario, it just removes itself. At the best case scenario, you're wrecking your opponent's board entirely. And Guy is not running a single one. It's unbelievable. So... But in a scenario like this, man, at least looking in, I wish he had him if I were in his shoes. But he's played this matchup before. He has beaten countless Bizbugs, and he's done it without that card. So somehow, if anyone can find a way out of this, it's Guy. Okay, looks like Suarez is doing his very introspective deck work. He's sitting here with not a
That's
single
one way to
penguin
put
in play.
I'm playing a little solitaire on the right side of the screen here. But this is the beauty of this deck is that you get to do this, right? And Guy has made it very far with a lot of great plays throughout the weekend. Again, whoever wins here, it is going to be we're going to get to see kind of great matches throughout the day. And I'm excited to see Suarez continue to combo here. It's just kind of a treat to watch this engine work and all the different pieces going together. Vibes, this is just the first set that's been out so far, and there's only 200 cards in the first set. So seeing a combo deck that works so elegantly and streamlined but has play to and against it is so very interesting to watch in just the first 200 cards. And, there's the upcoming set, Legend of the Littles, which will debut an additional, I think it's been announced, 150-ish cards as well. So I can't wait to see how these engine decks evolve. Now, all of these players playing right now, the top 8, have qualified to World Championships.
Oh, let's see what he got. Oh, a few Penguins in there. So for those who aren't too familiar and are hopping into the Vibes World Championships and aren't familiar with what this combo deck does, let's give you a very brief overview here. So, what Suarez is doing here is Suarez has a card that he plays it, and if he has no cards in deck, he wins the game. It's called Bismo. That card, you can play it, and you can do it during your turn, which is super, super powerful because your opponent can't respond. Now, if you do try to draw a card in your deck, normally you lose the game if you don't have Bismo in play. So Suarez has that. Now, Suarez has this incredible combo that lets him loop cards out of his deck and just rapidly put them in the ice. How you do it is you have 2 pieces of the puzzle. One is a card called Ascending Penguin, which says whenever you play any of your penguins, you get to move cards into your ice from your deck equal to half that penguin's vibe. Then you play a card called Bunkus that enters with a huge vibe. Bunkus's vibe is equal to twice the number of penguin cards in your ice. In fact, you can also play Bunkus from your ice by removing cards from your ice to play it, which means that Bunkus can end up in your ice from a previous Ascending Penguin pull. Then you can play it again, get more cards into your ice, play it again, do that a couple of times, and boom, you've won the game. So that's what we're going to be watching Suarez doing throughout the game. He's already done it once. He has Ascending Penguin in play. He's played his very first Bunkus. He's used that to get cards into his ice. He's moved cards from the bottom of his ice into his deck to play Bunkus. So he's going to be doing this a few times. Guy has to beat the race. He has to either slow Suarez down here, because Suarez's engine, if this deck works as well as it wants to, will usually outpace a kind of, for lack of a better term, fair deck. And Guy here is playing a deck that's very fair. It tries to win through normal routes. So Guy's saying, okay, given that, how can I get around this? Guy's been holding a ton of tools in his hand so that he can play it all and do something unexpected for his opponent. So this is the moment that Guy is going to start putting things into play. First, he's putting in yellow penguins that can produce Pudge. Pot-String Penguin, situationally, can produce 2 yellow Pudge. That means he can start playing his yellow actions soon. And in this deck, Guy has 2 kinds of yellow actions that are going to be really critical here. He has the Not Your Keys, which lets you ice an opponent's penguin, and you have Yum Yum, which ices all penguins in play. Guy in this game, it's all about those 2 actions.
What's crazy here is Guy went from having no Pudge to now, if Guy plays another, if he had another yellow penguin here, he would have 5 Pudge, which is exactly enough to play Yum Yum.
That would remove all of Jonathan Suarez's pieces of the puzzle from the board.
Which would have been a game changer. And that's why I got to see, it's very interesting, right? Guy likely had both of those cards in prior turns and opted not to play them because why play them? He knows that Jonathan Suarez is running Popcorn Penguins. And so what he definitely doesn't want to do is run things into Popcorn Penguins for no reason.
Yep.
But, at this point, the writing's on the wall. You've got to make something happen. And so the only thing that's not an option here is going to be standing by and doing nothing. And so that's why Guy is absolutely locked in and focused, playing at the highest level. And you got to play to your outs. Oh, my goodness, I got him. I mean, adding insult to injury, right? You don't have to got him there, but...
Totally.
I mean,
Yeah, well, Suarez doesn't absolutely. And Suarez isn't going to find better chances to use that card. I mean, that's a card.
That's a great point.
Suarez doesn't need his rods. He's going to be winning vibe checks anyway through this Bunkus. So Suarez has a resource, might as well use it. Guy, on the other hand, he's trying to pool up enough yellow penguins to use as his resource pool to play these actions, which is really what he needs in this game here. If Suarez can cut down on them, I mean, why not do it? So Guy is just one step farther away from stopping Jonathan Suarez at this point.
Absolutely. But look at the focus and attention. I mean, Suarez at this point is so incredibly far ahead, but he's still playing with the intentionality and focus of someone who is at this level, right?
Sure.
Again, we had 138 players today. We're down to just 2. These are the best of the best right here, and it's really a treat to watch them play. And we've seen so many great comebacks here. Guy is still in this game, I think.
Totally.
Now,
no doubt.
Is he favored?
I wouldn't put it
with
that
way. An unchecked ascending penguin in play.
Whoa. Suarez picks 2 saucy actions to put in the ice. I
got him. That's
not a rod.
Again,
what is he thinking?
As I have said, Suarez very much is in the driving seat right now of this game. I mean, what he is doing is he is saying, all right, I know that the big risk to me right now is that Guy gets a misplaced forgetter of things and locks me out, right? So I just need to go for it as quickly as I possibly can, and that's the line I'm taking. I'm trying to not interact that much. Now, we did see him interact a little bit, but again, I think that was more a situational thing. I already have got him as a rod, let me use it, right?
Okay.
Versus now, would I rather a got him in my hand or an additional combo piece? I'd rather an additional combo piece because I am trying to combo because I am trying to win now. I am not trying to wait to see if you get that misplace. Because imagine how much more complicated this game gets. If all Guy needs is a misplace in play, naming Bunkus, and suddenly this whole game shifts, or even naming Bismo, right?
So, totally, and you're totally right here. It seems to me that Jonathan has really calculated what's the thing that Guy can throw at me that throws me off my game, and misplace is definitely that. For those who don't know, misplace lets Guy say, hey, any card you've got in your ice, Jonathan Suarez, I will pick the one I'm most scared of. And remember, Suarez's engine has a bunch of different components to it. He can pick a critical piece, and then Suarez can't do anything. He can't ever play that card ever again until he gets rid of misplaced forgetter of things. And that's a huge problem for Suarez. But, oh man, he's going.
Another Bunkus. I mean, again, it's not deterministic, but we've seen the fewest whiffs, the fewest turns passed after playing Bunkus has been by Jonathan Suarez on camera this weekend.
But to talk about the confidence of, remember, he could ice any two of his rods to do Penguin who breaks the fourth wall. He picked two saucy actions. I cannot imagine there are other cards that he wants to preserve his rods.
It does not matter to him because this is a man that looks like he's going to win this turn.
But it's just complete confidence.
It's complete, unadulterated confidence. I mean, going through it, looping.
Oh, man, he has got it. He's gotten it started. That engine is roaring to life.
I would want to be in that car.
Man.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, he was just that one Penguin short from shutting it all down, and now Suarez is just on one. Look at that mastery. I don't think we've ever seen.
I mean, this is someone who knows what he's doing. He's playing. I mean, he's basically doing it unabated. I mean, he has played, 4 cards this game?
Well, because he held all in his hand and was waiting for one more yellow challenge. He could not do it.
But when you are misplacing and you're keeping the hand with misplace, like the thing that he was messing was pressure. You can't just be reactive.
Sure.
Given infinite time, this deck will do its thing.
Yep.
And where Guy was unable to put the pressure on this turn, this game, unlike the other ones. But again, incredible run for Guy. I mean,
unbelievable run. I mean,
but we can't come out yet. We've come out a number of Fives players a little early,
including Guy in the past. But look, I mean, where Guy was at here is like he needed a yellow penguin in a deck full of yellow penguins and just seemed to not be able to find it early on in the game. And that's just a deadly for that kind of deck. But what Guy has done here, oh man, okay, Suarez here going 1, 2, 3, and boom, that's it.
And that's the game. And we have a champion of the Americas.
Holy
Jonathan
moly.
Suarez, your 2025 Fives champion of the Americas.
Holy cow.
Look at that. Oh my goodness. With BizBunk, the deck of the weekend.
And playing an incredible night. Suarez has played so unbelievably well. It is just incredible seeing him pilot that deck.
And he has deserved it. He's put in the hours. He's grinded it out. He's going home with an uncut sheet. He's going to get a bye at the championships, and he has certainly earned it. Congratulations to him. We are so excited for that. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today for the Vibes Championships of the Americas for all 9 rounds. We've been on for almost 12 hours.
Pretty insane.
We've been on for 11 hours. Suarez has been playing for 11 hours. We're going to go probably congratulate him.
Let's go give him I don't know if we can have
him in the booth, potentially.
We'll see if we can get Suarez in the booth.
We'll see if we can get the man, the myth, the legend himself. Now, we've talked a lot about BizBunk this weekend.
We sure have.
We have a really exciting spoiler for you from the upcoming set, Legend of the Littles, which is coming in Q3. People have seen him throughout the weekend, just the art, which is fantastic. It's going to be Binkus who eats the stars. So we've kind of known this deck was maybe a little bit too strong for a bit.
I mean, top 8, we had 6 of them, but however, we gotta say there have been some incredible players who have played some other decks. But we wanted to have a card that allowed us to balance the meta in a way to make some of these other decks more apparent in our next championships.
And we wanted to give it more play, right? Many games ban cards. We have, thankfully, knock wood, not yet had to ban a card, we think. And I think that's, as much as it was a dominant archetype, there were still other archetypes that were viable.
Absolutely.
But where we wanted to take this as game designers is we wanted the ability for other decks to interact with this strategy. So it is still viable, but there is more things that you could do, especially on your turn, right?
Certainly.
So if you have the Baron and the Vibe Check and you play Binkus, who eats the stars, and let's talk about this ability. Playable from ice, as you play Binkus, put up to 13 cards from your opponent's ice on the bottom of their decks to reduce Binkus' cost by that amount. Binkus' vibe is twice the number of penguins in your opponent's ice.
So now, Binkus is
basically the opposite of Bunkus.
Exactly. He is the mirror in the flesh. Binkus, you'll notice, always has the same vibe as Bunkus, and when you play it, you eat your opponent's penguins from their ice, or any cards from your
Fantastic.
Your
Well, we have the champion himself here, along with his uncut sheet. Elliot, do you...
Let's do it. I'm going to swap out for Suarez, and you'll get to see your champion.
Of the Americas.
Hello.
Mr. Suarez, welcome to the booth. We are at SCGCon. You look a bit beleaguered. You look a bit in shock. It's been quite the day. I know you've been organizing this fine event on the other days. Took the day off to play. Tell me how you're feeling.
Good. I haven't played a lot of card games in a long time. I used to play every TCG you could think of, so this game caught my attention, obviously. And so, yeah, it worked out really well. I've been playing a lot online, and I don't know, it's been a great event.
And so what made you dive into this? What made you play this weekend? What kind of drew you in this game? What drew you to the deck that you're playing? Were you always a big BizBunk maxi?
Yeah, I play decks very similar to that in other games where I like to ice my deck and kind of just, play with my food. And this deck is the epitome of play with your own food. So,
well, we saw you get to play with your own food in the finals. Talk to me about kind of your journey here. I know it wasn't necessarily the most linear. You had some ups, some downs. You won all the side events the other days, but today, it wasn't always off to the great start. Talk to me about the day as a whole.
Yeah, my 2 losses were a green aggro.
Green aggro,
Yep.
okay.
I had a bad mulligan, and they went out to an incredibly fast start, and just all of a sudden they had 15 and won. And then my other loss was to, I don't even remember at this point. Maybe it was a mirror. But yeah, I think it was a mirror. I think I lost the mirror. But yeah, I mean, it's been really good. The deck is very good. I'm sure you guys have seen. I wasn't sure how many of them made the top 8, but then I saw that a healthy amount made it.
About 6 of the top 8, was it? We had 1 caffeine deck and 1 yellow Yum Yum, which obviously you faced in the finals.
Was Guy playing a modified, like a precon with some misplaces in it? Because that's insane.
Guy was playing, yeah, I mean, we have the list up here. I think you guys had open deck lists. I'm not sure if you...
Yeah, honestly, I didn't take too much of a look. It's been so long. It's been a long night.
He was playing Yum Yums. He's actually the only player in the top 16 playing yellow.
Huh.
But obviously, I'm sure you're familiar. Guy is someone who is on the Vibe circuit.
Yes.
I would say we've been calling them Vibes native players. We've considered you today a Vibes native player. I don't know if that's what you consider yourself. But
at this point, yeah, I think so.
But, the story today has been who's going to take it down. Is it going to be players? There's a lot of very skilled players from Flesh and Blood, from Magic, from all these other games who picked up the game quite recently, Some of them made top 8, some of them didn't. But then we have players who come maybe from other games, but have invested a lot of time, gotten a lot of reps in. And as Ellie and I were watching you play this deck, it was very evident that you've gotten not only a lot of reps in with this deck online, but you also got the mechanics down in paper. Talk to me about kind of how you prepared for this tournament.
20 years of TCG experience, 25 years of TCG experience. The dexterity is second nature to me, and I know that's it's a leg up on people who may not have that much experience with it. But yeah, I didn't get to test too much online with this particular deck. I've been sitting at I've been chonky 2 for 3 weeks, and I just go up and I go down, and I just can't get past it. So I tried 7, 8 different things, and I just landed on, I felt like this was the best deck, the most powerful one, so I wanted to try it.
Fantastic. And so there's a little extra prize that we've got for you, if you don't mind. We'll bring this over. This is actually the first uncut sheet. People will see this. That's making it into the public eye. I can hold this for you so you can smile proudly with it. People want to see the champion's face.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Not only does it look awesome, so a fun fact, and we've mentioned this before to people, if you look, Not a Rod anymore has golden border, and that's because this is actually a test sheet. Originally, when we designed the cards, the Saucy Actions had gold borders. It was a final minute change because they were viewable from the side as a different color when you weren't wearing sleeves, and not all of our players use sleeves.
Of course.
And that border is actually the border that became the sketch card border. We color shifted it to blue. And so this is a little bit of piece of Vibes history, which I think you've more than earned because you are now a piece of Vibes history as well.
Very excited. This will be framed and on my wall.
Absolutely. Well, I couldn't think of a better person for it to be going to. Now, I know it's been a long, long day. Do you have any sort of parting thoughts or things that you want to share with the world?
I'm just looking forward to hearing about Worlds.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
And I believe you've also earned a buy in Worlds.
Oh, I didn't know that. I just like
the
the qualification. So
has earned the buy. So
okay.
A little extra incentive to keep it exciting.
Absolutely.
And you've earned some pro points too. Not that those probably will matter as much to you, but I'm sure you'll rest easy tonight.
Absolutely.
So we appreciate you and everything that you've done for the game, and we are also excited to see you in not only in the final seat but in the champion seat. Maybe next time we'll have a crown.
Yes,
At the Baron's Ice Castle. That might seem fitting.
I got this on. It's close enough.
All right. Well, we're going to sign off from the SCG Con Hartford for the Vibes Championship of the Americas with our champion, Jonathan Suarez, who after, 9 plus 3, so 12 grueling games throughout the day, is our new champion of the Americas.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you all, and good night.